15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Launch commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff with Apollo 14. 3 minutes past the hour. The tower is clear. This is Kennedy Launch Control at T-minus 60 minutes and counting. T-minus 60, 1 hour away from the Apollo 14 liftoff. All aspects of the countdown still proceeding very satisfactorily at this time, and in fact a number of events with some 10 or 15 minutes ahead of the assigned work in the countdown manuals. Because of this, the Apollo access arm, swing arm number 9, will probably come back about 10 minutes earlier than it usually would in the countdown. By coming back early, it will be moving in about 7 or 8 minutes from this point. It's moved 12 degrees from the spacecraft. That's about 6 feet, and remains in that standby position until the 5-minute mark in the count when it's fully retracted. A short while ago, astronaut Alan Shepard was told by the spacecraft test conductor Skip Chauvin that things were going very well and that we were ahead on the count. Alan at that point said, thanked him for the information and said, "How's the weather out there?" The reply came back that there is some cover, but it looks pretty fair. Actually, the clouds we have in the area at the present time have a base of about 3,000 feet and extend up to 8,000 feet, with some getting as high as 12,000 feet. This does not appear to be any constraint to a launch attempt as far as the cloud cover is concerned at this time. That's our status. The countdown's still running smoothly. We're go on Apollo 14, T-minus 58 minutes, 33 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
Bill Allen of the Pittsburgh Press for Mr. Lee, I would imagine. Why is the window so narrow on this shot?
The window is very good. It'll be a little more, it'll be narrow on some of our later shots. The window, you know, originally used to go to 108 degrees. And we now our window is to 72 to 96 degrees, and it's over 3 hours. It's just about as max as we can get with the limits of 72 to 96.
Ted, you might add, it just varies from month to month and site to site. There's nothing like a 4-hour window. It depends specifically on the day, the site you're going to, and the time of year, very much.
Personal relationship.
Go ahead, I can't see you, but go ahead.
Jerry Frewer, Mechanical Engineering, London. I think Deke Slater might answer this one. What is the story behind the naming of the spacecraft, Antares and Kitty Hawk?
The story behind naming them, you say? Oh. The story behind how they gave those two names. Well, that's strictly the crew's choice, and I guess they thought Kitty Hawk was an appropriate name since that was a famous place in early aviation. And Antares is one of our major navigation stars. I guess there's nothing more complicated than that. The crew has the choice of picking whatever names they like, as long as they're in good taste.
Maybe to just elaborate on that slightly, I believe Captain Shepard did say at a press conference, the final press conference the crew had, if I recall correctly, that he asked Stu Ruther to select the name for the command module and Ed Mitchell to select the name for the lunar module.
That's correct.
And left it up to those two crew members, and they made the decision.
Mr. Lee, has the alternate mission involving a CSM trip to the moon alone been deleted from the list of possible alternates?
That is correct.
CSM only alone, CSM alone, lunar orbit mission is not in the picture. It is out for Apollo 14. It will be reconsidered on later missions.
Would you go into the specifics about why it was eliminated?
Well, the Apollo 14 mission plan is such that we, with the azimuth and everything, get the photographs that we're interested in taking, primarily Descartes. These are taken during the lunar stay. We also take some orbital photography while the LEM is on the lunar surface. We have been able to, on this flight plan with the particular azimuth and so forth, to accomplish these while the lunar module is on the surface, so that we have accomplished what we're after by the time they're ready to rendezvous. So as soon as they rendezvous, we have no good reason to say we're coming on home.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 55 minutes and counting. T-minus 55 and counting, all still proceeding very satisfactorily with Apollo 14. We've just completed some telemetry checks of the launch vehicle as the countdown continues. The astronaut crew has been advised that the swing arm, the Apollo access arm, swing arm number 9, will be coming back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds from this time. It will remain in a standby position about 6 feet from the spacecraft until we reach the 5-minute mark in the count, when it will be fully retracted. The pad leader and the closeout crew have departed from the 320-foot level and are now at the roadblock position standing by. For an update on network operations concerned with the mission, we now switch to Mission Control in Houston.
This is Apollo Control Houston at minus 54 minutes and counting. The worldwide manned spaceflight network is prepared for launch at this time. Only one problem has emerged, this very minor problem. At Carnarvon, C-band coverage is red because of a computer problem. However, this gives no constraint to launch because of the unified S-band coverage in that area. Weather conditions along the ground track across the Atlantic are expected to be satisfactory, as has been reported, with one area of high winds and seas midway between Florida and Bermuda. In the area, we expect southwesterly winds of some 25 to 30 knots and seas of 8 to 12 feet. Here in Mission Control, except for a few more people than we see in simulations, it's much the same. A quiet calmness best describes the mood of the control center as the Houston Flight Control team monitors a final countdown now in progress. However, in less than an hour, the atmosphere here will change when the control of the flight switches to Houston. Our flight director today, Pete Frank, will be calling for rapid status reports from each member of his team throughout the booster-powered phase of flight. Over what is known as the flight director's loop, we expect to hear a great deal from a gentleman named Dave Reed, our flight dynamics officer, and Frank Van Rensselaer, the booster systems engineer, since they will be monitoring the crucial trajectory and launch vehicle data. We're at minus 52 minutes, and this is Apollo Control Houston.
This is Kennedy Launch Control. We're now 52 minutes, 13 seconds and counting. And as the astronauts were alerted, it did occur. The Apollo access arm now has been retracted and is in the standby position. As soon as the arm is retracted, the pyrotechnic systems within the spacecraft are armed. This means now that 155-pound thrust escape tower that is atop of the spacecraft can be deployed in a critical emergency, if necessary, from this point down in the countdown. 51 minutes, 42 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
there are millions of Americans who unjustifiably and unknowledgeably criticize the program. What is there about Apollo 14 which differentiates itself in its prospective addition to a fund of knowledge which can be translated to the criticizing American public?
That's a very difficult question to give a short answer to. I think you'd all appreciate that. And you say it criticizes an American public. I don't want to be that accusatory. I do believe it's maybe an unknowing American public. And I do feel you gentlemen, ladies of the press, really have a job of interpreting the program for the people. And if they're unknowing, it may be because we've got to do a better job of interpreting. Now, no one likes to spend money, and no one likes to be taxed for any venture. But I feel the program and its attributes and what it gives to the country in terms of direct returns and returns of gold and an uplifting of the spirit, I think it's not fully understood. Because it's a very difficult, a very profound venture we're on here. It's not a goal for one day or 1 week or 1 year. So I believe in that regard there may be some unknowing of what our goals are. And they're not easy to define. I know many of you have tried. We're going to continue to try to define those goals. And 14, as a mission, fits in a pattern, continuing with the development we've made in Apollo to carry out exploration of the moon, carry out a goal of bringing together a better understanding of the evolution of the moon and our solar system. And those are profound goals. One talks of the evolution of the solar system, you start talking in millions, hundreds of millions of years. I frankly find it very difficult to comprehend, a billion years. I think most of you do, too. So the goals we have are very difficult to translate for the people. The concentration that we have on the launch, and the concentration on one aspect of the launch and the mission, does not give service to the total venture. The daily work, the daily development, the daily dedication to excellence. But those are things we'll continue to have to work on, continue to describe. I think the public, when informed, and I've had a fair contact with them over the 10 years I've been associated with Apollo, I feel will support them.
Morgan, ABC, how much of a hold for weather, if any, can you tolerate tomorrow before having to go over automatically to next March?
Our launch window is of 3 hours and 48 minutes duration, so we have up until 7:11 tomorrow evening to consummate the launch.
Mr. Lee, I would like to re-ask my question about the alternate missions. Your response makes me think I wasn't clear enough. The mission, there was an alternate at one time which proposed a mission in which the CSM alone would go to the moon and perform a lunar orbit mission and then return. There was some talk of deleting that. That is what my question is directed to. Has that mission finally been deleted?
Oh. You're speaking not that we launch and have the intention of going on a regular nominal mission, but for some reason we have to go. We can't say extract the limb, and would we go a CSM only? That is negative. We will not go CSM only on a lunar orbit mission. On Apollo 14, as I said previously, we would go into a lunar orbit mission if we had the lunar module with its additional consumables and propulsive power to provide backup. Did I answer your question this time?
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 45 minutes and counting, T-minus 45, still go with Apollo 14 in the countdown at this time. Just a matter of a few minutes ago, astronaut Stu Roosa wound up pressurizing the reaction control system of the service module on the spacecraft. These are the big 100-pound thrust engines, which are in quadrants, 4 quadrants around the side of the service module, which are used for certain types of spacecraft maneuvers on the trajectory to and from the moon. Stu Roosa read off the various pressures involved in the different quadrants, and they were recorded by the spacecraft test conductor. Coming up in a matter of a few minutes will be one of the final major checks of the Range Safety Command destruct system aboard the vehicle. These are the destruct packages in each of the stages, which would be initiated in the event the vehicle veered violently off trajectory and could be a danger to anyone or anything below. Of course, before destruct action would ever occur, the escape tower first would be triggered on the spacecraft to successfully separate the astronauts from the vehicle in trouble. 43 minutes, 43 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
George Engel, ABC for Deke. Any lack of confidence, any loss of confidence? You have to do any kind of a hard sell after the Apollo 13 mission to build up confidence for this one?
No problem at all. We've got complete confidence in the year at this point in time. I think we clearly understand what happened on 13, and it's been fixed to our satisfaction. No concern on anybody's part.
Way up in front here, Ken.
John Wilhelm, time. What security precautions have you put into effect because of this march, and are they any more severe or restrictive than they were in the previous one?
The security precautions are somewhat increased. We have special badges for people entering the different buildings on the Cape. There are extra precautions being taken. Let me put it that way.
In addition to the march, it's more than just a march.
Oh, it's more than just a march. We have just additional security. Like I say, special badges. Of course, the gates have the guards on, and you have more patrols and so forth. We have the normal security we always have for a mission on the beach side and so forth. But there are extra precautions being taken. That's correct.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 40 minutes and counting. T-minus 40. We are proceeding satisfactorily with Apollo 14. Just as this announcement began, we began a key test here in the firing room, a power transfer test in which we switched from the external power on the vehicle to the batteries in each of the 3 stages and the instrument unit of the Saturn V. This test is in progress at this time. After we are assured that all batteries are operating satisfactorily, we will return to external power in order to preserve the power of those batteries for the actual powered phase of flight. We actually will return to internal power at 50 seconds in the countdown. The astronauts standing by in the spacecraft at the 320-foot level at Launch Pad A, they're about 10 minutes ahead in their work, and they have finished up the pressurization of the reaction control system of the Apollo spacecraft. 39 minutes and counting. We'll go with Apollo 14 at this time. We will take a close look at our cloud conditions at about the 10-minute mark in the count to determine our status. Now 38 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
Why was the singular launch date in January selected where you have 5 opportunities in March? And what must be done to the bird if you can't launch tomorrow?
I'd like to address that. We don't show 5 opportunities. Well, we say 5 opportunities in March. There are 2 lunar windows in March, one at the beginning and one at the end. But as far as the lunar month is concerned, we have a 3-window opportunity at the 1st of March, 3 days, and 3 at the end. But it isn't as if you had 5 days in 1 month. It's just the 28-day cycle of the moon happens to be 31 January, then the 1st of March. Now, why the 1 window at January 31st? In terms of assessing our posture and the question of photography and getting photography of Dakar, which is a very high priority item on this mission, and the question of flight plans, we decided we would go for 1 day in January, the optimum day, and we would be willing to wait 28 days for the next opportunity. But we have hypergulls aboard. We have had hypergulls aboard. We started loading, I believe, the 4th of January. And there's a compatibility period, which we have for a period of say 110 days. So as one would miss the 1st window with your optimum launch time for the photography, then as one goes into the 2nd window, you want to give yourself more opportunity to get off. And on the 1st day, the photography again would be excellent in terms of sun angle. And on the 2nd day, in March, on the 2nd day, we there would lose a good bit of our photography on Dakar, one site, because of sun angle, because of a later time. So that's what went into the rationale of picking of the times. You normally will get 1 optimum day on a specific site in 1 calendar month, optimum in terms of exact sun angle. Then you can go the day before or the day after. We chose for the 1st month to pick the optimum day. Once we've gone by that, if we should have to slip, then we always have the question of the hypergulls being there longer. We don't have an indefinite stay on the pad. Then we're willing to take a different condition as far as sun angle at the site we're going to photograph or the sun angle at landing on the 2nd and 3rd opportunity. Hope that's clear. Pretty complex issue, but I tried to make it as simple as I could here.
Now, just as a reminder, we'll be open till midnight, reopen at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. You must be escorted anywhere except on the trip to the press site. And finally, for the benefit of broadcasters, we are informed, apparently according to legal requirements, all the mouthpieces on the telephones at the press site will be sealed. In fact, they have been sealed. So anybody planning amplification, this would be difficult. The mouthpieces are sealed on all the telephones at the press site. That completes the conference. Thank you very much.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 35 minutes and counting. T-minus 35, all going well with Apollo 14. Astronauts just been advised by spacecraft test conductor Skip Chauvin that we've just passed the 35-minute mark, and Eclipse Roger came back in reply. The countdown is still going well. We're keeping a close look at our cloud cover, and we'll proceed to count down to the 10-minute mark. Take a close look there, and if it appears that we will be clear, we will continue our countdown down through liftoff. We have completed our power transfer test, and all is still going well with the count. 34 minutes, 21 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
This is a CBS News special report. 10 years later. The flight of Apollo 14. This evening, a brief look ahead at the next 10 days in space and the profile of Alan Shepard. Sponsored by Western Electric, the people who make communications equipment for the Bell system. Reporting from CBS News headquarters at the Kennedy Space Center, correspondent Walter Cronkite.
Good evening from the Kennedy Space Center. Apollo 14 marks a renewal of this country's program to explore the moon and a personal comeback for its commander. Despite a happy ending, Apollo 13 was a setback for moon exploration. Now Apollo 14 will try to do what 13 did not. The landing site is the same, near the Frau Morrow crater, in rough terrain believed of much older material than that brought back by the first two moon explorations. Again, 2 long moon walks are planned, and most of the experiments are the same as those scheduled for 13. The main differences, new onboard safety devices and extra supplies, are in direct response to the Apollo 13 explosion and the long, perilous voyage home in its lunar module lifeboat. The Apollo 14 crew, which departs from here Sunday afternoon, will be commanded by 47-year-old Alan Shepard, the least experienced of space veterans. His teammates will be 2 space rookies, 40-year-old Edgar Mitchell, who will accompany Shepard to the moon's surface, and Stuart Rusev, 37, who will remain aloft in the command ship. But the crew's story centers on Shepard. On May 5th, 1961, inside his tiny Freedom 7, he became the first American to venture into space, a suborbital sprint downrange from Cape Kennedy. In the decades since then, Shepard has suffered illness and frustration, but all the while his attitude has been marked by drive, determination, and care to the last detail. Shepard's first space vehicle was a one-man Mercury capsule boosted aloft by a slim little Redstone rocket. His flight lasted only 15 minutes and covered 300 miles. Looking back, Shepard recalls not the drama, but the details.
There are 2 things, basically, that struck me, as I recall, and then and still do now. One is the fact that I expected a lot more vibration from the launch rocket than we got in those days. It was a lot smoother ride, at least the powered portion of the flight was a lot smoother than I had expected. And secondly, I think the fact that I was able to act and talk rationally during the short period of weightlessness of the current was quite a satisfaction to me, because perhaps you may remember back in those days there were a number of cynics that felt that a person wouldn't be rational after 5 minutes of weightlessness.
The first American in space became an instant hero, but disappointment was not far behind. An ear disorder impaired Shepard's hearing and balance and left him assigned to a space program desk job. This gave Shepard time to go into business, banking and real estate, which soon earned him a fortune. But business interests were not enough. Alan Shepard wanted to fly in space again. To do this would take time, and he determined to stay in shape. That determination is described by Richard Minns, who ran a health club where Shepard worked out.
He's not a typical human being. He's a super person. He's a super guy. He's a super person mentally, intellectually, and physically, and maintains that status through a standpoint of pride and ego. And when he comes in for his exercise routine and his workouts, he stays with his exercise routine. He stays with the workout, because I think that to him is sort of a religion. It's something that he has to do. It's a preventative medicine. It's a medicine to protect him against the aging process.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 30 minutes and counting. T-minus 30, all elements of the Apollo 14 countdown still go at this time. At this point in the count, the Apollo 14 lunar module, named Antares, is now going on internal power. There are 2 batteries in the ascent stage and 4 batteries on the descent stage of the lunar module for Apollo 14. The lunar module will remain internal for some 20 minutes until the 10-minute mark in the count as we take a final look at the lunar module systems before we're ready to commit to fly. The LEM then again will be powered down at the 10-minute mark in the countdown. Still well ahead on a number of functions, the astronauts standing by in the spacecraft, all still going well. T-minus 29 minutes, 10 seconds, and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
Shepard kept up his space program activities, but the ear problem remained until he heard about a doctor who had developed an operation for his condition, although success was not guaranteed. Shepard took the chance, had the operation in 1968, and was reactivated for space flight by Dr. Charles Berry, the astronaut's physician.
No, I don't think anyone can question Al's tremendous motivation to do this mission. If I can just quickly review the kind of things that happened, you know that Al was selected initially to fly the initial mission in Mercury, and he was selected because of some qualities which he exhibits, which really, he's a very self-sufficient individual. He's very self-contained and extremely self-sufficient in that regard, and I think that was something that was very badly needed in that first kind of a mission. Interestingly enough, he's been able to take that same personality and to deal with it in a team concept, to where he has 3 people involved and not just himself as an individual. He would like to have flown in the early Gemini, first Gemini mission, or early Gemini mission anyway, and unfortunately he had this Meniere's develop prior to that time, and then we had to ground him. Now, he maintained a motivation to fly during all of that period of time. He has been steadfast in that. He has wanted to do it. He's been goal-directed that way. If there's anything Al is, it is goal-directed.
Shepard's dedication did not always make him an easy man to like. One of his best friends, Deke Slater, boss of the astronauts, says Shepard had his troubles making friends.
I don't think he's the type of individual that probably takes to people and develops a close friendship on a short notice. He's not, well, if you're going to try to compare him with people in the original 7, for example, you had John Glenn and Wally Schirra, who were both great extroverts and just an entirely different kind of personality. Al's not that type of personality.
The last word on Alan Shepard, his determination and dedication, belongs to the men who trained long and hard with him and will fly with him on Apollo 14. First Stuart Rusev, then Edgar Mitchell.
Yeah, I think there's something different about Al. He's probably one of the most talented people in our business that I've come across. You know, he's extremely cool and from a flying standpoint, you know, but he's always right to the heart of the problem.
Al has a responsibility for the overall success of this mission as far as the crew is concerned. He exercises it well, but he allows Stu and I to do our jobs and do them to the best of our ability. And so I haven't seen any temperament that you talk about.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 25 minutes and counting, T-minus 25. All is still go with the Apollo 14 count. We are keeping a close look on the clouds in the KSC area, particularly here at Complex 39 at this time. These clouds are ranging from 3 to 8,000 feet at the present time. We'll take a close look at the 10-minute mark to determine our posture to continue the count. We're still aiming at this time toward our planned T0 and liftoff at 3:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In progress here in Firing Room 2, the crew is monitoring some automatic telemetry calibrations of the Saturn V launch vehicle. This is to assure that we are properly calibrated to receive the in-flight information during the powered phase of the mission. 24 minutes, 11 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 23 minutes and counting, T-minus 23. We are go with Apollo 14 at this time. Just a matter of seconds ago, the spacecraft commander, Alan Shepard, was advised of the status of the count at 24-minute mark. Shepard reported back, he said it's rather quiet out there, and he was informed it's quiet because things are going so well. He was referring to the communications circuit he's on. He said, I'm glad to hear that. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
The joke we heard when we came down here was that the command module was named Kitty Hawk in honor of your first mission. Are you getting a little tired about all this talk about your age?
Well, you know, the long gray beard does get in my way once in a while. I don't know, I guess it's pretty hard to avoid that kind of talk. It's no secret that I am that old. And it does, it gets a little unnerving to have to be forced to think about it from time to time. Normally, when I'm not talking to reporters, I don't think about my age.
Have you been, let's say, a bear as a result of being grounded? I wonder, you know, how you've been to live with.
No, I think during the grounding period, I found other things in the space program to occupy my attention.
So that wasn't a difficult time for you?
I didn't say that.
What would you say?
It was difficult for me, for example, in the Gemini days when I was along with Deke Slayton, and we used to alternate as directors of each of these respective flight crews, to be with a crew during the final stages of their training and help them with their policy-making decisions and these kind of things, and take them down and get them suited up and take them to the launch pad and then watch them go away. These sure have been difficult times.
We've talked to some people who have likened you to a Superman, and others who have said you're determined never to grow old, and others who have said whatever you're assigned to do, whatever it may be, you can do it, and others who have said you don't like people very well, you don't need them very well. What really is there about you, do you think? Who are you?
Well, who am I to decide? I don't know. You know, a person can't analyze himself. It's important to me to do this because of the self-satisfaction involved. I think everyone needs this sort of thing. And I suppose that's really who I am, an individual who likes to make a contribution to his country because he knows he can with a certain level of confidence. Perhaps that's the easiest way of putting it.
This is Kennedy Launch Control at T-minus 20 minutes and counting. T-minus 20, still go with Apollo 14 at this time. The Vice President of the United States, Spiro Agnew, and their Royal Highnesses, the Prince and Princess of Spain, have arrived at the viewing site at this time. Meanwhile, here in the firing room, we're continuing to monitor the status of all those propellants, more than 1 million gallons of propellants aboard the Saturn V launch vehicle. The reports keep coming back that all is still going well. The astronauts standing by in the spacecraft at this point. We're keeping a close eye on the clouds overhead, and we'll take a hard look at our situation at the 10-minute mark in the count to determine our progress from then on down. T-minus 19 minutes, 16 seconds, and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
Former astronaut Walter Schirra is with us again on the flight of Apollo 14. And Wally, you and Alan Shepard were part of the original 7 Mercury astronauts. I wonder what your strongest impression of Alan is.
Well, I think without doubt it's the cold, fishy-eyed look that you get when you first meet Al. Then, of course, you realize that he is a cool customer, but with time you realize he's also a very warm, sensitive fellow, but a great leader. And this is, I guess, the best impression I could give anybody.
I remember in those early days of Mercury down here at the Cape, Alan was as much of a fun lover, one of the boys, as anybody else. Some of the pieces that have been coming out lately, the stories from Houston, have suggested he's aloof, unfriendly, cold, as you mentioned. I think perhaps that's because of the job he had. He, in these 10 years, has been assigning the astronauts to the flights and the jobs and supervising them, and that doesn't lend toward friendliness. That's the chill of command, isn't it?
It is very much that. In fact, I guess you can say that we all felt that. Each one of us, really from a guts feeling, would admit to being something of a prima donna because we're focused on so often. And someone has to be a super prima donna, and Al had to be that. He had to give the orders. The younger ones who didn't have the responsibility or the experience didn't take that too well, I suppose.
You know, speaking of being prima donnas, the 7 Mercury astronauts have always been considered something rather special. Do you think that there's something special about you 7?
Well, the only thing I would concede in that sense is that we were all small-town guys, average fellows. Most were the senior child, if not the only child. But the uniqueness really was the sense of pioneering. We were doing something that no one else really wanted to do, it turned out, at least our contemporaries. A number of test pilots would say, what do you want to get in that can for? Well, that's sort of the specialness I might at least accede to.
And you're all very close, aren't you?
We are. We're all 7 brothers is what I'd call it.
Wally Schirra and I and the rest of the CBS News space team will bring you the highlights of this Apollo 14 mission, starting with Sunday's launch. That broadcast begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also see live, and for the first time in color, the 2 moonwalks on Friday and Saturday mornings, and we'll be on hand, of course, for the splashdown Tuesday afternoon, February 9th. This is Walter Cronkite, CBS News, Kennedy Space Center. Good night.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 15 minutes and counting. T-minus 15. We are still go with our countdown, taking a close look at cloud conditions, and we'll take a close look at the 10-minute mark in the count. Starting at this point, the astronaut crew is going to be quite busy in the spacecraft as the Apollo 14 spacecraft goes on full internal power. This is the full internal power of the fuel cells. Up to this time in the countdown, we've been sharing the load, so to speak, with an external power source along with the fuel cells. As we go on internal power, the lunar module pilot, Ed Mitchell, will give readouts to the spacecraft test conductor on how the power situation looks. Spacecraft Commander Alan Shepard will also give some final readouts on the stabilization and control system of the Apollo spacecraft. Both Shepard and Stu Russo will arm the rotational hand controllers that are on their armrests in the cabin. We'll take a close look at the clouds at the 10-minute mark in the count to determine our posture for proceeding with the countdown. 13 minutes, 55 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
I'm certainly disappointed that these reevaluations, at least on the side of the public and the Congress, has resulted in a decreased budget, because I feel that space is very much like aviation. It's the same kind of thing. That if you'd said to the Wright brothers, okay, so you made one flight, so put it in the Smithsonian and figure out something else to do. It's just the same kind of philosophy you hear expressed when people say, okay, so you've been on the moon once, so why should you go back? So we're concerned about the lack of support that has become evident.
What do you think it can be done about it to increase the support, to get some excitement back in the general public as far as the lunar program, if the excitement is gone?
Well, I don't think excitement means, or lack of excitement means, is really the answer as far as NASA is concerned. I think it's incumbent upon the administration to present what they feel is an orderly succession of events that will lead to continued expansion of space research and exploration. And then it's up to the public to decide whether or not it should be accomplished. I think perhaps the public doesn't realize some of the side benefits that have accrued from the space program, and I think perhaps the administration can help point those out in the future. To expect that the space program should and will continue without problems like we had on Apollo 13, I think, is a mistake that a lot of people make. There seemed to be a dropping off in public interest as a result of the Apollo 13 problems, as evidenced by a poll I read about the other day, which surprised me, because some of the public still think we can go to the moon and not have problems. I think that's something wrong when you can't make progress and take risks of this sort in research without having some setbacks. As a matter of fact, you can't make progress in anything without having some setbacks.
This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 10 minutes and counting, T-minus 10. We are proceeding at this time. However, the weather conditions, the clouds in the area being evaluated at this point. If a hold is required, it could occur about 2 minutes from this time. We'll stand by for further reports. In the meantime, the Apollo 14 flight crew have completed some checks on what's called the Astrolaunch circuit. This is a special radio frequency circuit used by the spacecraft communicator, the launch operations manager, and the spacecraft test conductor to advise the astronauts of abort conditions. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We are now advised that we will hold for weather. We will hold the countdown at the 8-minute mark in the count. We're now at 9 minutes, 10 seconds, and counting. To repeat, we will hold the countdown at the 8-minute mark because of cloud conditions in the launch facility area. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We're standing by. We're coming up on the 8-minute mark at this point. Mark, we are holding. The clock shows 8 minutes and 2 seconds in the count. We are holding at this time. The reason for the hold is cloud conditions in the area. It appeared that one bad cloud patch could be over the launch pad at the planned time of 23 minutes past the hour. We are standing by at this time at 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold on the Apollo 14 countdown. The clock reading minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. The reason, cloud conditions in the area. We have had an aircraft aloft in the area during the full progress of the final countdown, and we were advised at the 10-minute mark in the count that it appeared that one particular cloud cell coming across the Indian River, that is coming west over the launch pad area, appeared to have rain in it and some potential, and it was reaching up to altitudes of some 15,000 feet. As a result, the launch director, Walt Kaprian, determined that we should hold. We're going to remain in this posture at approximately the 8-minute mark to try to be no more than some 10 minutes away from a launch attempt, as long as this is possible. We are going to be advised by the flying aircraft of conditions and hopefully be able to get a forecast that things will look better in 15-minute increments. That is, when we get a go from the aircraft, we would be able to launch some 15 minutes later. So we do not have a firm estimate at this time. However, the aircraft commander has advised that he feels he will be able to give us one in a short while. That is our situation, standing by at 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. The Apollo 14 crew has been advised. They're also standing by in the spacecraft. It is possible we may get some rain in the area shortly from this same cloud cell that we were concerned about for the launch attempt. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding because of cloud conditions in the area. We can remain in this posture at the 8-minute mark for approximately 1 hour. If we had to remain in the hold longer, we would have to recycle to an earlier mark in the countdown. But we can remain here at the 8-minute mark for approximately 1 hour from the time the the account was held. Our situation as far as the clouds are concerned, from the latest advice from the aircraft, is at its earliest, these cloud conditions might be able to pass through this area in about 15 minutes. If at the end of that time the aircraft could give us a good forecast that we would be fairly clear for 20 minutes beyond that time, it's very possible the countdown could be resumed. However, we expect to be in this position at the present time for at least 15 or 20 minutes. We remain at T-minus 8 minutes, 2 seconds, and holding. This is Kennedy Launch Control.
If all goes as scheduled, the crew of Apollo 14 will view this sight as they skim over mountainous craters preparing to land in the foothills of the moon's rugged Fra Mauro region. Astronaut Alan B. Shepard is commander of the planned 9-day mission.
Now, we plan to be on the lunar surface for a period of about a day and a half, during which time we will make 2 separate excursions outside the vehicle. The first is concerned primarily with the setting up of experiments similar to those in the previous flights, seismographs, solar ray measuring devices, laser beam reflectors, and these sort of things. The latter part of that first excursion will be taking some samples of the lunar surface, and then after a brief rest period, an overnight stay in our hammocks in the lunar module, then we'll go back out again on an excursion which is almost entirely devoted to the collecting of geological samples and geological surveys. Now, we're going to a decidedly unique area, and we feel, therefore, this number 2 excursion will be a very important one. The length of each excursion will be approximately 4.5 to 5 hours.
With Shepard, astronaut Edgar D. Mitchell. Here he describes an equipment-carrying rickshaw to be used for the first time on this flight.
Transporter. As it has evolved over the last two missions, that we need more and more equipment on the lunar surface to do the type of scientific exploration that the scientists want. We started out with this little portion right here called a hand tool carrier. Well, it was quite obvious very soon that we couldn't carry enough equipment that way. Also, we had our hands tied up while we were carrying that piece of equipment. And so for Apollo 14, the modular equipment transporter, nicknamed the MET, was invented, and we have put the hand tool carrier on the MET, and in addition we have added many other pieces of equipment which we can now carry.
Piloting the command module to within 9 miles of the lunar surface, astronaut Stuart A. Russa.
Now, on 11 and 12, the command service module stayed in 60-mile orbit, and the LEM had to use its gas to burn down to this 60 by 9-mile orbit. So the purpose of using the engine on the service module for this is to save propellants in the LEM to increase the hover time. And particularly in the Fra Mauro area, it's by far the most rugged landing site that we've tried so far. And by using propellants out of the command service module, it gives the LEM this additional 7 to 8 seconds of hover time, which may sound small, but is quite significant when you're down among the rocks.
Asked about the big Saturn V and this his first flight, astronaut Russa made these comments.
Well, it's a mighty impressive sight to see the big stack move out. I'd say certainly I'm ready to go. We'll be well prepared, well trained, and we've had several crews brief us on what it's like and the vibrations and so forth. But I think probably the actual launch has got to be a new thing and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Apollo 14, readying now for this country's 3rd manned lunar landing.
This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds by the clock. The launch vehicle test conductor, Gene Sestile, has just advised all the support elements for the 3 stages and instrument unit of the Saturn V that the best estimate at this time is this hold will continue for another 15 minutes. He also pointed out to his test conductors for the various stages that they should be ready when they are alerted to be able to pick up the count at the 8-minute mark. That is our status. We're awaiting further word from the aircraft that's surveying the clouds from the top, and we remain at T-minus 8 minutes. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at the 8-minute and 2-second mark on the Apollo 14 countdown. The National Weather Service's aircraft in the area now advises that this cloud buildup we have should continue through the area for another 15 to 30 minutes. However, he reports that presently just northwest of the Kennedy Space Center and northwest of the city of Titusville, the area does appear to be clearer, and he indicates that there would be a good possibility to resume the count some 30 minutes or so from this time. We'll be standing by for further reports as we await continuing reports from the weather plane. The clouds here extend up to about 18,000 feet, and we are getting some rain in the Complex 39 area at this time. 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding on the clock for Apollo 14. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. We remain in our hold at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. The Apollo 14 flight crew, astronauts Alan Shepard, Stu Russa, and Ed Mitchell, have been advised of our situation, and they acknowledge the information, and they've basically been resting back in the spacecraft. We have not heard any reports from them lately. They have, however, the spacecraft test conductor, Skip Chauvin, is keeping them updated on the weather information. They have been told, as we have been told here in the firing room, that the conditions could possibly improve in some 20 to 30 minutes, and the area there does appear to be a clear area behind this present large cloud cell that is passing over Complex 39 at this time. That's our status. We remain in a hold 8 minutes and 2 seconds. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, remaining in the hold, T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds at this time on Apollo 14. We're standing by for further advisories from the National Weather Service's aircraft, which is surveying the cloud conditions in the area. Just a matter of a minute or two ago, the director of flight crew operations, Deke Slater, called in to Al Shepard in the spacecraft and mentioned to Al that at least it's more comfortable up there than it was in the old days. Al reported back, "Oh my, yes." He also added to Deke that we're in good shape up here. We're standing by for further reports, holding 8 minutes and 2 seconds. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, still in the hold, T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds in our Apollo 14 countdown. We're still standing by for further reports from the weather plane. Indications are about the same as reported earlier. Some 10 minutes or 15 minutes. This time has extended a little bit as we have remained in the hold. However, we are still being told that we expect that this cloud cover will clear the area. Obviously, when we do resume the count, as hopefully we will, a new azimuth update must be given to the astronauts to be placed in the computer for the flight. We were planning to fly on a 72-degree launch azimuth had we gone at the prescribed time of 3:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This azimuth will increase as a result of, we're standing by. We have just been informed here in the firing room. We expect to pick up our countdown in 5 minutes from this time. Just as this announcement was being made, we have been alerted by Launch Director Walt Caprian. He has now given the go-ahead to resume the countdown in 5 minutes from this time. We remain at 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding on the clock. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control and our hold T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds, but planning to resume the countdown several minutes from this time. From the latest advisories from the weather aircraft, it appears that the higher altitude clouds will have cleared the area by our now new planned launch time. We still will be launching through some cloud cover, but the top of these clouds will be 10,000 feet or less. This is the latest forecast we have from our weather advisory via the aircraft. We're at T-minus 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding, but planning to resume the count in several minutes. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control and our hold at 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. We have had a change of several minutes on resuming the countdown. The launch team has now been advised by the launch director we will resume the count at 55 minutes past the hour, which is some 7 minutes from this time. We'll be standing by, expecting to resume the count in some 7 minutes from this point. 8 minutes and 2 seconds and holding. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. Apollo 14 countdown holding at 8 minutes and 2 seconds, but expecting to resume the count 5 minutes from this time. The launch team has been advised here in the firing room, and the spacecraft team back at the Manned Spacecraft Operations Building conducting the spacecraft portion of the countdown. The astronauts on board, of course, also have been alerted. They just came back with a Roger reply. This information we have been receiving concerning our cloud cover has been provided by a research flight facility aircraft of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. This aircraft has been flying in the area as support for the Apollo 14 mission. 8 minutes, 2 seconds and holding. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, still in our hold at 8 minutes and 2 seconds by the clock. Test Supervisor Chuck Henschel has just polled some of the key elements involved in the countdown, requesting their go status to pick up the count in about 1.5 minutes from this time. They all report ready, and we are standing by. Expecting now to resume the count in a little less than 1.5 minutes. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control. Mark, we have resumed our countdown. T-minus 8 minutes and counting on Apollo 14. We're still keeping a close eye on our weather conditions at this time, but Launch Director Walter Caprian has made the determination to resume the count. This should put us with a liftoff at 3 minutes past the hour if all continues to go well. We're now starting the chill down of the engine chambers on the third and second stages of the Saturn V launch vehicle. This is one of the critical elements and has to do with hold times. The chill down has to last a precise period. We feed in extremely cold helium into the engine chambers of both the second stage and third stage to condition them for the very cold liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen that will be flowing into the chamber when they're due to ignite later during the powered portion of the flight. All is still going well as far as launch vehicle, spacecraft, and the 3 astronauts on board. Coming up in the 7-minute mark. Mark, 7 minutes and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, T-minus 6 minutes and counting, T-minus 6. We're still proceeding at this time. We'll be standing by for the spacecraft ready light to come on shortly from the spacecraft test conductor to show that both the command module, Kitty Hawk, and the lunar module Antares are go for launch. Status report will be coming up shortly to get a go from all elements in the countdown. At the 3-minute, 7-second mark in the count, we will go on an automatic sequence with the computer that will lead up to the ignition sequence of the 5 engines in the first stage of the Saturn V, beginning at the 8.9-second mark in the count. All engines should be running at the 2-second mark, and we should get a commit and a liftoff at the 0 mark in the count. We're coming up now on the 5-minute mark in the count. Launch Director has just given a go to continue the countdown. Mark, T-minus 5 minutes and counting. We are go with Apollo 14. This is Kennedy Launch Control. This is Kennedy Launch Control, minus 4 minutes and counting on Apollo 14. We will go with the mission at this time. Spacecraft test conductor Skip Chauvin polled the key elements as far as spacecraft operations are concerned and received a go all the way down, including 3 strong goes from the 3 pilots on board the spacecraft. The aboard engine lights now come on as cue lights for astronaut Alan Shepard on the left-hand side, and as we come up on 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 3 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. The launch operations manager now has told Alan Shepard we are go, and on behalf of the launch team, wishes him Godspeed. Alan Shepard came back and said, thank you very much, we'll give it a good ride. 3 minutes, 13 seconds and counting. Will be coming up on the automatic sequence shortly. Mark, we have launch sequence start. The automatic sequence is in, coming up in 3 minutes. T-minus 3 minutes and counting. We are still go at this time with Apollo 14. Skip Chauvin has just asked Lunar Module pilot Ed Mitchell to bring on the tape recorder on board the spacecraft. We're at 2 minutes, 46 seconds and counting. As we're on the automatic sequence, the various tanks in the Saturn V launch vehicle, those propellant tanks in all 3 stages begin pressurizing so that the propellants can be forced into the engine chambers at the appropriate time. Coming up 2 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Shepard has been alerted that he will be making his final guidance checks shortly. Second stage launch tank beginning to pressurize at 2 minutes and 20 seconds and counting. Still go at this time. Two minutes, 10 seconds. We are still go. We have taken the environmental control system off external. We've gone on internal with the environmental control of the spacecraft. 2 minutes and counting. We are still go. The tanks in the Saturn V still continuing to pressurize. The sequence for the ignition of those 5 engines in the first stage of the Saturn V will begin at 8.9 seconds. We're now 1 minute, 45 seconds and counting. Still go with Apollo 14. We'll go on internal power in the Saturn V launch vehicle at the 50-second mark in the count. At ignition and liftoff, we'll have more than 7.5 million pounds of thrust pushing the space vehicle off the launch pad. This is the heaviest Saturn V space vehicle to be launched thus far. Coming up on the 1 minute, 20-second mark. 1 minute, 20 seconds and counting. A still go at this time. Third stage tanks now are pressurized according to our status board here in the firing room. 1 minute, 10 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control coming up in 60 seconds. Mark, T-minus 60 seconds and counting. Still go with the count. First stage tanks are now pressurized as our status board gives us a rundown on the automatic sequence. 50 seconds and counting. We've now gone on internal power on the internal batteries of the Saturn V as the count continues. 40 seconds and counting. Alan Shepard reports that he's performing his final guidance alignment, the final maneuver the astronauts perform before liftoff. 30 seconds and counting. Stu Russo just said, thanks, it's been a good count. 25 seconds and counting. We are still go. 20 seconds. Guidance alert. The guidance system now going internal. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Launch commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff with Apollo 14. 3 minutes past the hour. The tower is clear.
Houston is control. 16 seconds pitch and roll program started. 14 maneuvering to a proper flight course. 25 seconds.
Okay, Houston, roll complete.
Roger, roll complete. Shepard reports roll program completed. Pitch profile still in progress. 37 seconds.
Stand by for 1 Bravo. Okay, we're 1 Bravo.
Capcom Gordon Fullerton making that report.
Stand back. I didn't want you to, I was going to give you that one. Okay, good.
Mark, 1 minute.
69.
Cabin pressure coming down, adjusting from sea level to a space environment. Status check in mission control, coming up all greens on the flight director's console.
Houston, everything looks good. You're on down. All right.
1 minute, 19 seconds coming up on period of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle.
And we got through max and real fine, kids. Yeah.
1 minute, 35 seconds, 9 nautical miles in altitude, 5 nautical miles downrange. Velocity now reading 3,340 feet per second.
Okay, coming up on 2 rise. 3, 2.5 G.
pass through max Q.
We're 1 Charlie. Mark, 1 Charlie right now.
We're 1 Charlie. EDS auto's off.
Roger.
2 minutes 5 seconds coming up on center engine shutdown. 2 minutes 12 seconds, 20 nautical miles in altitude.
About 2 seconds. Inboard cutoff.
Roger, inboard.
Center engine shutdown on time. 2 minutes 25 seconds, 25 nautical miles in altitude, 30 nautical miles downrange.
About 10 seconds to...
Mark, 2 minutes 35 seconds coming up on staging.
Okay. About 5 to go. Cut off.
Roger.
Separation.
Roger.
Ignition on 5.
Roger.
Head staging, the Shepherd crew now riding on 5 good second stage engines.
On 5 engines.
Roger, wait for good rest on all 5.
Okay, passing 3 minutes.
The giant first stage falling away now. It's day's work done.
We don't get that yet. We're
3
about
minutes
4
10 seconds coming up on skirt sep and tower jettison.
That's 2 seconds.
Roger.
Let it go. 18, 19. There goes the tower.
Roger, we confirm the skirt up. And you're
The launch escape tower has ejected on time.
We're mode 2 in the cockpit, troops.
Speed first, water auto. Roger, Ed.
Up to the PC.
3 minutes 35 seconds, 14 now 33 feet shorter, 9,000 pounds lighter, moving out well beyond the Earth's atmosphere. We show an altitude of 60 nautical miles.
Okay, we're coming up toward 4 minutes. We're pitching toward 26. It looks real good, Leader. Yeah. 27 right now. Good.
Mark, 3 minutes 55 seconds, 63 nautical miles in altitude, 143 nautical miles downrange, velocity.
Hey, 4 minutes, trajectory and guidance look good.
4 minutes, 60.
14, Roger.
Right, smack dab in the money. Beautiful. Just smack
And
dab.
14, Houston, the CMC is go.
Roger, CMC go.
4 minutes 20 seconds, velocity now reading 10,750 feet per second and accelerating.
Good job, buddy.
In mission control, Apollo 14's trajectory data, driving right down the middle of our plot boards. Right now, flight path data is go.
Absolutely beautiful. It is right in the fracking money. Just a little more ice flaking off. Okay, we're still staging for 3 on program at this point. We don't have S4. No, we don't. Right. COI is 545. Crash is 445.
Coming up on 5 minutes, 78 nautical miles in altitude, 235 nautical miles downrange.
It's 5 minutes, 80 miles. We're riding within 2 or 3 tenths of this profile. It's beautiful. Just can't be.
Retro fire officer reports their 14 is clear of the Atlantic weather.
That's all you're feeling. It's like a railroad coach is his couch. Okay, 5 plus 20. We should have COI here in 25 seconds.
Predicted time for S2 shutdown, 9 minutes 16 seconds, very close to nominal. We're at 5 minutes 45 seconds.
Stand by for S4B to COI. Mark, S4B to COI now.
S4B to COI. Okay, yeah, babe, stand by for the game.
Roger, and your time to nominal level sets on 8 plus 3 9er, and S2 cut off at 9er plus 1 6.
Yeah, nominal. Here comes 6-1. Okay. Y'all want?
Capcom Gordon Fullerton reporting that 14 capable of reaching a minimum orbit with a combination of a good third stage and service module engines. Meanwhile, in mission control, a status check being taken, coming up all greens. We're at 6 minutes 20 seconds, 1491 nautical.
Motors are running.
Roger, 14. Give them motors on.
6:30. I think we got TLI now on that center engine.
6 minutes 30 seconds, 93 nautical miles in altitude, 420 nautical miles downrange.
Stand by for S4B to orbit. Mark, you have S4B to orbit now.
Just 4B orbit. It is beautiful. This trajectory is absolutely...
Shepard, Russo Mitchell now told that they can reach orbit on booster power only if given a good third stage. 6 minutes 55 seconds, 95 nautical miles in altitude. 7 minutes 5 seconds, 499 nautical miles downrange. Velocity now reading 16,587 feet per second.
Yes, right. That seems like there's something I ought to be doing. But it's not 27 forward.
7 minutes 30 seconds, 14 flying almost parallel over the ocean now with the Shepherd crew in a heads down position. Really moving out now for downrange distance. We show downrange 587 nautical miles.
Roger, Edward.
Right on time.
That was center engine shutdown, right on time. Good thrust on the other four.
Hey, did you feel that PU valve?
Yeah. Sure did.
Didn't hear it, though. Well, I had to give you the noise in the simulator. Yeah, can't give you everything. We're within 2/10 in altitude.
8 minutes 10 seconds, 14 now 98 nautical miles in altitude, 700 nautical miles downrange. Velocity now reading 19,881 feet per second. Staging status.
Houston, go for staging. The CMC is go.
I just CMC go. Just a little high that it's bringing the H-stop down. Just a little vibration.
You have level center now.
Roger, level center. Very slight pogo and starting at 840. Yeah.
Mark 9 minutes, 100 nautical miles in altitude, 830 nautical miles downrange.
Just a little high. We're about a mile high.
Stand by for mode 4 capability. Mark, you have it now.
5 seconds to staging. Roger, mode 4.
That mode 4 call says a good service.
Cut off. Roger, cut off.
Look at the flakes. See the ice go up there.
Roger.
And good thrust on 1.
Roger.
9 minutes 30 seconds. Thrust looks good on the S4B after staging.
Thrust looks good on the S4B.
Thank you.
The Shepherd crew has now used up 2/3 of their Saturn stages on their way to orbit. We're at 9 minutes 45 seconds, 101 nautical miles in altitude, 989 nautical miles downrange. Velocity now reading at 23,300.
101.5. I'll. Okay.
23,313 feet per second.
77, 25, 5, 50. Okay, 25,660. 25,660 is our shutdown. Okay. On the stage switch. On the stage switch.
14. Houston, everything's looking perfect here.
Roger. H-dot is just about 0. We're 102. Here I go.
10 minutes 25 seconds, 102 nautical miles in altitude, 11,443 nautical miles downrange. Velocity now reading 24,206 feet per second.
Houston, predicted cutoff is as planned, 11 plus 43.
Predicted time of shutdown, 11 minutes, 43 seconds. We're now at 11 minutes, 10 seconds.
In Houston, predicted cutoff, 11 plus 43, nominal. Over.
Right, 11 plus 43.
Downrange distance now 1,322 nautical miles. 11 minutes, 30 seconds. Standing by now for shutdown.
You've got a good cutoff.
Roger.
Shutdown, we'll stand by now for preliminary orbital readings, both on board and from the ground.
Apollo 14, Houston, the booster is safe, and your orbit is go.
Roger. Good show. Go orbit, booster safe. Servo power 2 coming off now.
Houston, I have a Z-torquing angle when you're ready to copy.
Okay, we're showing about 99 by 102.9er.
Roger.
Stand by for a second. Okay.
This is Apollo Control Houston. We're advised that the Vice President of the United States is now in the firing room. We will switch to Cape Kennedy.
Just coming.
This is Kennedy Launch Control. The Vice President of the United States and their Royal Highnesses, the Prince and Princess of Spain, have now arrived in the firing room and are being introduced at this time to the Launch Director, Walter Caprian. With them is Mr. George Lowe, the Acting Director of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to have with us today for the launch of Apollo 14, the Vice President and His Royal Highness, Juan Carlos, Prince of Spain. May I now present the Vice President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, I suppose it is almost a routine performance for me to be here to congratulate the men and women of NASA on an incredibly successful launch and insertion into orbit. I must say that I never fail to be tremendously impressed and moved by this occurrence. Today is especially pleasurable because I had the opportunity to be with the Royal Highnesses Prince Juan Carlos, Princess Sofia of Spain, and I can tell you this much, if I've ever seen two fans and converts to the American space undertaking, we have them right here and these wonderful foreign dignitaries with me today. I think that this flight as an especially meaningful and critical mission in the American space program, I don't have to enlarge upon that to the men and women here. Our dedication to our space program remains undiminished. I think that we're going to continue to press forward for what needs to be done in this respect. And I want to congratulate the people of NASA who throughout all of the pullings and tuggings, the fears, and the exhilarations that undertake a high-risk venture such as the American space program have been so consistent, so constant, and certainly so restrained in their reaction to what may have been considered to be in some areas some very discouraging occurrences. Those days are past us, and we're going forward together, not just to the moon, but I'm certain that the American program will continue to press forward into the reaches of interplanetary space. And now it's a great pleasure for me to ask our royal guest, His Royal Highness Prince Juan Carlos, who incidentally knows a lot more about flying than I do because he pilots his own helicopter, to greet the men and women of NASA and to give us, in some measure, his reactions to this historic occasion.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President.
you said that we were fans. We are fans. We came here in 1962 in our honeymoon. We met some of you that we saw today, and we were very happy to see them again. We saw the installations and the facilities of NASA in Houston, with Dr. Lowe was there then, at the time, and we were very much interested. Personally, I followed a few of the tracking stations you have in my country. I know the people there, and I know how well they are doing. Here, I don't have any words because you are the man who put up those 3 men that now go to the moon, and you're doing so much for progress and for the whole humanity that I'm very proud to be a part of you today. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kurt Debus, Director of the Kennedy Space Center.
Thank you, George. Your Royal Highness, as old-timers in the manned program, and specifically in the lunar program, when you visited us, we were just at the beginning. Now we have proceeded with several missions to the moon, and we will continue to do so. As memento, as a remembrance to your visit, I want you to have this little picture. Thank you very much.
I was telling the Vice President that in the moment of this thing, I felt myself always lifting up myself. I said, well,
This is Apollo Control, Houston, now at 22 minutes into the flight of Apollo 14. We're less than 2 minutes away now from loss of signal with Canary. Apollo 14 presently in a circular orbit of 102 nautical miles. At this time, we'll play back the tapes of our conversations with 14 just following our switch back to the Cape.
0 Power 2 coming off now.
14 Houston, I have a Z-torquing angle when you're ready to copy.
Okay, we're showing about 99 by 102.9er.
Roger.
Okay, 2 safe. 6 logic, 2 on. 2 arming breakers coming open. K3 VMAX going to rate 2. Okay, SDS logic's off. Okay, 2 normal. Liftoff.
Apollo 14 Houston, the Saturn is configured for orbit. We're showing you in a 102 circular orbit, okay?
I understand 102 circular. Okay, Gordon, I'll take the Z-torquing angle.
Roger, Stu, Z-torquing angle is a plus .14, over.
Plus 0.14.
Roger. 14 Houston, you have 45 seconds to Vanguard LOS. That'll be to Canary.
Roger, Houston.
Apollo 14 Houston, how do you read through Canaries?
Loud and clear, Houston.
And you're loud and clear. 14 Houston, about 45 seconds to LOS. We have nothing for you before Carnarvon. Over.
Roger, we're on the checklist.
Roger.
See you in Carnarvon, Bertie.
Roger.
This is Apollo Control, Houston. 25 minutes now since liftoff. We're out of acquisition range with the Canary at this time. We expect to reacquire the spacecraft over Carnarvon in approximately 27 minutes. At 25 minutes into the flight of Apollo 14, this is Apollo Control, Houston.
Okay, you getting close?
I'll see it. There it comes.
Yeah. Close.
Okay, main reg B valve open and A valve closed.
A closed.
Okay, emergency cabin press select 2.
2.
Push to test.
Test.
Okay, there it comes. Main reg A valve open.
Open.
Emergency cabin press select both.
Close.
Okay. Here, let me get you started on your optics.
Could I borrow that TLI back again? Oh, there she is.
Okay. Ready for your optics, sir?
Not quite yet. Let me get my hand hooks down here. So
Okay, well, holler when you're ready and I'll come back to you.
we're probably pretty well ahead of schedule time-wise, aren't we?
Well, I'm a little behind on the
No, we're not really.
Orbital LOS. No. Okay, service module RCS monitor check. I've got all 8 up. Gray. Okay. 115 to 140, 75. That all looks good.
Later, would you? Sure. Thank you.
42.
Okay. Can I help you with anything now?
You can read the helium pressure. I'll get the other stuff.
On the quad?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to be now? Why did they do it that way? Okay. And you want quantities 100 and full scale high and tank temp is 74.
Okay.
You got tank temp on it?
Okay. Let me just get the pressures and then the tanks and the quantities, because I have to copy them all down. 41.
Okay, helium 41 on C.
Okay.
41 on D. Oh, wait.
Okay, that's helium. I need manifold press.
Okay, manifold pressure is 200 on D.
Okay.
200 on C.
Okay.
200 on D.
Okay.
And 200 on A.
Very good. Okay, helium tank temp, I need to record.
Okay, tank temps on A at 75.
75.
B is 74. C is 81. And D is 77.
Okay. Propellant quantity?
C is full scale high.
Okay.
C is full scale high. B is full scale high. A is full scale high. I'd say we had a full load.
Okay. Okay, command module RCS monitoring. Talkback gray.
I'll get the cameras in a little bit.
Okay, we're over in.
I'm going to read my optics test code, Justin. Yeah, we didn't have to worry about the cameras before. Yeah. Okay, install optics eyepieces and handholds.
41 to 42.
And power optics on up.
Manifold press 81 to 105. That's good. Those are good. Okay, secondary radiator leak check.
Optic 0 off.
Secondary 0. Now, could I have the secondary glycol radiator valve normal for 30 seconds and then bypass?
Direct. Optic speed control high. Okay, that'll be 15 seconds. Okay, let's see if we've got some optics. Optic hand controller, okay, there's manual, high, direct, and go on max right, should go at about 40 degrees. And this one ought to go at about 150. Man, it's pure black. Let's see, because I'm not adapted. Yeah, that's, and you need basically adapted.
Did you get all of your jettison, optic dust cover jettison checklist too?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Canyon optics on, optic 0 off,
That's,
0 to 15,
that's verified.
optic 0 off, optic mode manual in,
That's verified.
coupling control direct, and high speed, speed control high, is max right, fully ejected.
That's verified.
Okay?
Okay, Ed, you want to go from normal to bypass now?
Yeah, for 30 seconds.
Okay, here it is right now. Thank you.
All right, got it.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's the secondary glycol to radiator valve for normal? Secondary glycol.
Glycol, secondary radiator light. Man, those stars are dimmer than they are.
Is our light in here bothering you, Stuart?
No, I've got them. Okay, Ed. I think I got it now.
Okay. You better bypass it.
Oh, wait a minute. God damn it, I just cannot see it. I can't feel it. Simulator's got a big red stripe on it. See if I get my little finger in here, I can line it up.
So I'll press on here with one thing.
Okay, start with star 22 for the first one if you've got a chance to write it.
Okay, star 22.
Okay. It'll be star 24.
And the other will be 24.
Again, moment of green back.
Okay, Al. This is bypass, huh?
You wanted to
I'm
bypass?
sorry, I wanted it normal for 30
Normal, it
seconds.
has been for 10 seconds. I'll get it.
Okay. I'm just watching the quantity there.
Okay, that's
That looks good. You have no leak.
Okay, back and bypass.
Okay. I'm there to set a configuration here. I need the glycol reservoir bypass valve to open.
Okay, bypass valve open.
Out valve close, in valve close.
Out valve close. In valve close.
Okay. And we want to fill the primary key.
Oh, shit. Well, I got the... Oh, God. Too bad.
What did you get, 4 balls on?
Still one. Oh, hell. Too bad, babe. Tempted to repeat it. I think I will. Okay.
Okay.
You want a primary accumulator fill, huh?
Yes, please.
Okay. Stand by. Okay, Ed, here it comes.
All right. On. Okay. Okay, you can shut it off. I've got almost 60%.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ECS radiator flow control to power. Power. Primary glycol to radiator valve normal push.
Okay, down slow.
ECS radiator heater prime 1.
Hear it. Gargle, 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 gargle.
Yeah, there she came in. I saw it.
Gargle, gargle, gargle. Okay?
Okay. So I watch ECS radiator temp prime up, prime in. A little prime here, it's looking good already. ECS top side gray. Black Hollow map, tip into auto.
There we go. There you go, Ben.
Got a 4 ball.
Yeah, he did. I'm a bit. That's 5 balls. Good show. No more controversy. No. Okay, it was 22, 24, 5 balls.
Okay.
And there's the now 93.
Okay.
You want to copy it?
Yeah, I'm copying them. 8.
00085.
85.
Right.
Sorry.
And second R2 is plus 00010. R3. Right. R3 is plus 00166. Okay, and let's say it's 3815.
38.
15, right. Torque. Torque 3815. Okay. Optic. Now, I sew the eyepieces, don't I?
No optics eyepieces, that's correct.
Optic 0 to 0.
And if we torqued, we should realign the GDC.
Okay, now, yeah, just a second. So optic 0 after we come down a certain angle, right? Yeah, I'm going to try to do that. That's really not part of our operation, but we can't go wrong.
I'm going to bring the purge on. We'll get a master alarm.
Okay, all on that IMU. Roll 180. Field filter. And the got a nudge. That much pitches way over 2. Okay, does it call for me to turn the optics in and optics power off? Here, I should get out my check.
Optic, let's see. No, I don't see that.
Okay.
Look right in the stem.
So optics eyepieces can increase that stem volume, they'll never decrease it. You know, we don't have any, we have floats in it.
That's firm.
Okay. You can tell it, can't you?
Sure can.
Okay. Well, that's the way I wanted to start it. 5 balls. The next thing on the agenda is that decal up there. Hey, has the GDCs on.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, approve. Okay. That's okay. Go to print.
Full load RCS fuel for you. That's right. We'll use it sparingly. Quiet. Yeah, let's take it easy. Just tap it like a pro. Son of a bitch, that booster was good, wasn't it? Oh, that's not good. Now that book wants to sit there. Do you have trouble wanting to go to the... Yeah, I keep going. I do too. I had a hell of a job holding myself down while it's shooting the optic. Yeah, boy, that's no clear.
This has to be operate 61%.
Well, they're not near as bright in that telescope as they are in the simulator. Well, you probably know that. Yeah, I got down here with these floodlights flaring it. Yeah. After I turned them down, I could see Gina through it the second time around, so I was adapting. Okay. Looks like all I need to do is to get out the storage bag. Got a good horizon out here. Dark? You can see it, huh? Uh-huh. You need anything else out of me yet? How you coming?
No, I don't need anything else out of you right now, Steve.
Well, I'm seeing air glows, too. I see the stars in the inside of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't I get out those temporary storage bags, and then I can get the cameras out at our convenience. That's agreeable.
I'm ready for it. You can hand me mine right now.
Well, I got to go down and get it first.
Yeah, that's aired well, I can see, because I do stirred underneath it.
Damn that boost or something. Couldn't get over the ice. That was something.
Yeah,
I expected more vibration.
I really did too.
Really,
yeah, I said that was real smooth running. Real smooth. Okay, keep pressing ahead here. Slowly but surely. How you doing there?
Okay. Proceeding through my systems check.
How about a bag coming up your side there? Oh, hey, another one got away, or the other two are up behind your head. Can you reach them?
With me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, thank you, babe.
Guess what I found in there?
Oh, goddamn thing's going to be all over the place.
Hey,
you were right what you said about the hotel.
Yeah. I was needling, Gene. I knew they'd done that. I mean, I didn't know it. Right behind your head, two more of those bags, Al, if you could reach them.
Okay, I know. Looks like they're going to be collecting those patches the rest of the flight.
Yeah, they're going to be hiding everywhere.
Okay, yeah, babe. How about temporary storage bag?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, babe, how about temporary storage bag? They cut away. It's great.
Isn't it marvelous?
Fantastic. I've already beat my old record.
So you beat your own record in insertion.
I know, I
Okay.
And in here, you'll have to make sure you get the bottom one snapped, which you have not had to do in the
37.5.
CMS.
Yeah, we've done it. Your insistence. At your insistence, we have done it, and it's now completed here.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's see, we're on Fort Bravo on the test meter, and it's reading 37.
Okay, now what?
Okay. I'm ready to do an ECS monitoring check. Super pressure, delta P is okay.
How you doing out here? High ball.
That's the way I wanted to start. The next thing on the agenda is that fucking decal up there. 32.5. We'll work on that one.
Look at that.
If I start hosing it out, you just say something.
I'll say, don't you worry. Don't you worry, babe.
There's another one.
Okay, we're in green on repress package.
Yeah, we have plenty of them to give out. Save for our hookers inside it, so.
Yeah. They said we could either carry them gracefully or otherwise.
Well, I'm going to give them all the hookers inside it.
You see, you might get out your bracket for the camera if you're out of things to do, Al, and I'll be handing you a camera shortly.
Okay. Okie dokie. Reach the DMC dictionary. A little care, because it might just come out with everything else. Tim? You, reach over and snap one of those, snap one of those hoses.
Yes, I certainly can.
You don't want the light. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. That's the dimension I need. Oh, Jesus, there's one in here, dude. There must be one in every frigging volume of stowage that we have.
Probably.
I think there's going to be. They knew. God damn, they knew we'd have to get them all these.
Hey, Ed, let me give you a presento.
Just a second.
Here's something. Okay, if you take your camera. Here's something, you know, we never check any of the bench checks, but this 10mm lens won't stay in the cushion. It just goes right on out. Look at that camera.
Yeah. Get the leverage.
I'll drop your seat fans in just a second, man.
Let her go, man. Okay, I'm now on the checklist of where we've already done TLI. We were unstowed the sequence camera, bracket, the ordeal. Have you mounted the ordeal box?
You haven't told me to yet.
Okay, you can do that as soon as you get your sequence camera in your hand there. I'll start doing the secondary backhaul loop check. Secondary Liftoff AC1. And I heard it come on.
Just for on the tape, the DSE purpose, the 10mm lens and the 75mm lens will not stay in the cushion.
Okay. Surprising, they were kind of tight before, weren't they? Okay, what do I have set here?
I guess we've got a gray tape.
What do you want to set on now?
I'll give it to him. I've got it right here. Okay, you want T8.
T8, set.
250th.
And a 250th is set.
7 feet.
7 feet is set.
And 12 frames per second.
And 12 frames per second. Okay.
Okay.
Sunrise, troops. Oh, Meg.
Son of a bitch. I missed him. I could have been up there too.
Look at look, hurry. It's not too late.
Wait out here.
Look right to the hatch.
I can't get there. I like these dark.
Well, down that way. Come up with
Yeah, just a second. And let me fix the couch.
You really ought to get it, baby. Beautiful. It is beautiful. That is really great. The sun comes up like thunder.
This is Apollo Control, Houston, at 51 minutes now into the flight of Apollo 14. We have just acquired the Apollo 14 spacecraft through Carnarvon. We'll quickly pass on to you heart rates during liftoff on the command module pilot and lunar module pilot. Stu Russa's...
Through Carnarvon, how do you read? Roger, we're reading you. A lot of background static.
Houston, are you ready for our IMU rest manual land check? P52 numbers.
Roger. Ed, go ahead.
Touchdown 71, sir. 22, 24, 905. Is all balls. Down 93. Plus 00085. Plus 00010. Plus 00166. DET of
38:15. And we just burst into sunlight. Gordo, it was quite a sunrise.
Roger, Ed. We copy that.
This is Apollo Control, Houston. During this lull in communications, we'll start again to pass along those heart rates at liftoff. That was a peak rate of 132 on Command Module pilot Stu Russa. He averaged in the 120s during the boost phase of flight. In the case of Ed Mitchell, his peak rate was 90 and ran in the 80s. Commander Alan Shepard, we received no data on. We suspect a loose sensor or connector, and this will be fixed sometime in orbit during a more quiet period. We presently show Apollo 14 in an orbit of 104 nautical miles by 101 nautical miles. We're at 54 minutes now into the flight. We'll stand by and continue to monitor. This is Apollo Control, Houston, at 58 minutes now into the flight of Apollo 14. Continuing here with a lull in air-ground conversation. At this time, I'll pass along the shutdown times on the Saturn as it achieved its orbit. S1C shutdown, or cutoff, was 2 minutes 44 seconds. S2 shutdown was copied at 9 minutes 19 seconds. This 3 seconds longer than nominal. And the S4B shutdown, or cutoff, was at 11 minutes 40 seconds instead of a pre-flight 11 minutes 43 seconds. We're at 59 minutes now into the flight of Apollo 14, continuing to monitor. This is Apollo Control, Houston. Apollo Control, Houston, 1 hour now into the flight of Apollo 14. We've had LOS with Carnarvon. We expect to acquire Honeysuckle momentarily. At 1 hour into the flight, this is Apollo Control, Houston.
Apollo 14 through Honeysuckle, over. Apollo 14, Houston, through Honeysuckle. If you read, go Omni Charlie.
This is Apollo Control, Houston. 1 hour, 6 minutes now into the flight. We've had loss of signal with Honeysuckle. We presently show 14 in an orbit of 106 nautical miles by 100 nautical miles and a velocity reading of 25,583 feet per second. At this time, we'll switch to the Cape for the post-flight press conference. Switching now to the Cape.
But, you know, you get down there, you're not adapted at all, and I've been looking at the bright sun, and then I looked out there and I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, you must admit when you said that I got a little sinking feeling.
Well, I was sure they were gone because before I felt them.
Okay, we're going to talk to Nate here in 2 minutes. What are we going to do? Look ahead a little bit. What do we do?
When you get out, I'll get out the checklist here while you're doing that.
Kind of look ahead and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got all the cameras and stuff.
Yeah, cameras will be out.
What would you want to use this place up here for? Yeah, that's a good place.
Yeah, in fact, those rascals aren't bad.
You know, those are really good work on those packs.
They work good, yeah.
Shouldn't have that on the tape either.
What does that say in there? Rocket controller? Take a closer look at that.
You did do the SCS attitude reference check.
Yeah, I've got it written.
Okay, now, the next thing we got coming up is docking probe. And then we get a TLI pad, and then we start into TLI prep, 1+50.
I've got a TV camera running over here.
You have an image on the monitor?
Got the corner of the world poking out there.
You want to put the monitor up here, where you can...
I'm glad we decided to put those sandwiches in.
Wonder what we got.
Well, after all, it is 5:25 keep time.
I must admit, I got a tinge of glumness there when they called that hole. I was really primed for 323.
Yeah, I was too, right.
No, well, they gotta, you get bit once, you can't afford to. There's a lot of water down there. I don't see the stakes coming up here.
Well, if we're going to have AOS, what? 28.
20 degrees with rainbow.
Well, let's see. Let's go with time here. Let's take a look at this class. And put it on the horizon. See what it reads. Don't pull this out of here.
Yeah, just push me around if I'm in your way.
14 and a half. Okay. Would you like to see out my window, guys?
Look at that. Good picture.
Yeah, if you want to hold it, let me see if I can peek it up here. It drifted away from me, there is no problem. There's F-44. Brighten it up. No, I think F-44 is what I want. Pretty good. That's maybe resolution, isn't it? Yeah. At least black and white does. I'm looking to the north, aren't I? As we're going along? You better be.
You straight out that window is not too far off the track. I mean,
Straight out this window?
Yeah, you can almost see the nadir out that window. I didn't realize you're down on that window.
Well, I was looking at both sides. Yeah, this one. I can't believe how clean this place is.
I haven't seen a single boat.
Okay. Let me have that.
The only thing cluttering it up is the backup hatch.
Just hold the camera just a second, Stu. Let me see if I can anchor this monitor any better.
Okay. Yeah, it's just fit up on that Velcro at your feet.
Well, that's safe, Stu, but I keep kicking it off.
A little more forward there.
That's all I need is a little more cord.
Yeah. In lunar orbit, I'm going to be swamped with cords and cables.
Excuse me, Brad. Okay, I got it. I'll get it out of the way. Got to push it on over here. Come on. Yeah, this is beep all over the place.
You last plan.
Well, I'm feeling so I'm a hell of a lot happier that we're flying, looking at their faces rather than the other way around.
Well, that's what I meant by laughing last. Yeah. It's really a strange feeling. Sitting here looking out, it starts to know whether you're standing on your head.
Yeah, I'm still just a bit disoriented.
Oh, yeah?
Well, not when I look out the window. I'm a little bit disoriented in direction. Well, I think the only I don't see any air is just the fact that stuff that you feel like you're seeing in your head. Yeah.
That should be good. Just one second, I'll look. Things looking so good, every time I feel one thing. Running out of things to do. What you got going for you there, Slater?
Well, I'm just, looking around, see if I get disoriented.
Oh. Sound something.
Up is up and down is down. That's flat.
Try to manage to get this thing burning again.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you. A little bit nervous about it, but the way that baby put us in orbit.
Yeah. Those are tanks, though, and I guess you ought to take a look at those over here.
35 oxidizer and 20 fuel. Rubber, let's take that off. No, I guess better put this back until we get to Houston here.
Yeah, we're 128.46 now. My checklist says US LOS. Oh, okay, LOS. Sorry about that.
That could change.
Yeah, we ought to have it.
Really close.
Yeah, you just got to wiggle on the. No? Yeah. Like D's the best. It's not really shit.
That's not very good.
Well, there it's coming up.
Hello, Houston, Apollo 14. How do you read?
I can see it.
Yeah. That's Baja? Yeah.
Yeah?
Hello, Houston, Apollo 14. How do you read?
This is Apollo Control, Houston, at 1 hour and 30 minutes now since the liftoff of Apollo 14. We presently show 14 less than a minute away now from acquisition, with an orbit of 106 by 101 nautical miles. A preliminary look at our translunar injection burn puts it at a time of 2 hours, 28 minutes, 27 seconds.
Houston, we've completed our checklist of the paycheck.
14 Houston, we started getting pretty bad static right in the middle of that transmission. Would you say again?
Roger, Houston, we have completed our L to 18.
Roger.
Houston, we're starting to extend the docking probe now.
Roger, Ed, and I have a TLI plus 90 pad anytime you're ready to copy.
Roger, 1 second, I'll be ready for you.
Okay, Houston, the probe's extended.
Houston, I'm ready to copy.
Okay, Ed, one question from Dr. Gilruth. They're wondering how y'all like 0G.
Say again, Houston.
Dr. Gilruth was wondering how you like flight in 0G.
Hey, I think I got that one, Gordon. You're asking about 0G, and it's really great. Everybody's in great shape. We're having a ball well ahead of the timeline.
Right, I'll go ahead with TLI plus 90, Ed, if you're ready. Okay, it's a TLI plus 90, SPS/GNN. Down 47, 64470. Minus 145. Plus 130. Pig is 003, 59er, 5113. Down 81, minus 05158. Plus all balls. plus 84206. Attitude 181 256 001. HA is NA. HP plus 00171. 84364. Niner 84049er. Sextant star 15. 2214. 399er. Foresight star is NA. Noun 61 minus 3014 minus 02500 11544 33721. GET for 05G 012, correction, 0105729er. GDC aligned set stars are Sirius and Rigel. 333 083 013. No LH. Go ahead.
Roger, Houston, Webcom wasn't too good. I missed burn time, trunnion angle, and repeat those two.
Roger, your burn time is 901. And trunnion angle 399er. Over.
Roger, and say again the burn time.
Burn time 901. 901. Over.
Roger, 901. TLI plus 90. SPS GNN 64470 minus 145 plus 130 at 00359er 5113. 5158 plus all zeros plus 84206 181 256 001 NA plus 00171 84364 901 84049er 152214 299 NA down 61 minus 3014 minus 02500 11544 33721 GET of 05G 0105729 Sirius Rigel 332 082 013 no LH.
Okay, Ed, I have about 4 corrections. The first is on Delta VX on Noun 81. I missed your readback on that. It should be minus 05158. Is that what you got?
That's firm, 05158.
Okay, and a couple of readbacks were incorrect. Trunnion angle is 399er. 399er. Over.
Roger, trunnion 399er.
And an R align for the GDC align, that is 333, and pitch is 083. Yeah, you read back correctly, 013. Over.
Roger, 333 083, and you're coming in very loud and clear now, Gordon.
Okay, Ed, you've been loud and clear. I'll give you the P37 for liftoff +8 if you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, GET of ignition is 00800 3283 minus 165, and GET for 400K 04538. Go ahead.
That's 00800 3283 minus 165 and 04538.
Roger, your readback's correct, and I have the TLI pad.
Okay, these pads are sure wrecking my Buick, but all right.
Okay, Houston, go ahead with the TLI pad.
14 Houston, before the pad, would you give us poo and accept for new state vector?
Okay, you have it.
And I'm ready with the TLI pad.
Go ahead.
Roger, time base 6 predict 21851. Attitude for TLI 179er 136000. Burn time 552. 103630. 35549er. SEP attitude 359er 168 319er. Extraction attitude 301 348 041. Ejection time is 35600. Go ahead.
Okay, I have 021851. I missed the angles. Burn time 5 plus 52. 103630. 35549er. 359er. 168. 319er. 301. 348. 041. Ejection 35600. And would you give me the angles again, please?
Roger, Al, your readback was correct. The TLI attitude is 179er 136000. Go ahead.
I have 179er 136000.
Roger, readback correct. Apollo 14, Houston, the computer's yours. We're through with the uplink.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Houston, we're going to stand by for your go for pyro arm.
Roger, Al, stand by. Your go for pyro arm now.
Okay, Houston, the logic switches are on.
Roger, and now your go for pyro arm.
Thank you.
Apollo 14, Houston.
Go ahead.
We have about 4 minutes to LOS Vanguard, Ed, and due to the launch delay, the Canary Pass will be pretty low elevation, marginal, at the most about 2 minutes long.
Okay, thank you.
Apollo 14, Houston.
Go ahead.
We're reading the CDR's EKG loud and clear now. We're wondering if you did anything to fix it up there.
Nope.
Roger. It looks good.
Apollo Control, Houston, 1 hour, 47 minutes now into the flight. You heard the translunar injection pad being passed to the crew. We're presently looking at a time of ignition of 2 hours, 28 minutes, 29 seconds. A delta V on the burn of 10,367 feet per second. Burn duration, 5 minutes 52 seconds. Velocity at time of shutdown, 35,549 feet per second. As you heard Capcom Fullerton pass along, apparently we are receiving medical data from the commander at this time. We're at 1 hour, 48 minutes into the flight of Apollo 14. This is Apollo Control Houston. Apollo Control Houston, 1 hour, 50 minutes now into the flight. We...
Houston?
Go ahead.
Roger, we're real close to LOS. I'll go ahead and give you the words I've got about TLI. First of all, the monitor angles on page L2-24 should all be increased by 2.5 degrees. And if you're monitoring the TLI burn with the cue card, the pitch angles should all be reading about 9 degrees higher than on the card. The yaw should be within a quarter degree, one-fourth degree of what the card reads. Did you copy, over?
Apollo Control Houston, 1 hour, 51 minutes. Apparently we had loss of signal with 14 just about the time Capcom Fullerton was passing along that new data. We repeat, we show a time of ignition for TLI of 2 hours, 28 minutes, 29 seconds, a delta velocity of, or delta V of 10,367 feet per second, burn duration of 5 minutes, 52 seconds, and a velocity at time of shutdown of 35,549 feet per second. Reacquiring with Canaries.
In Houston through Canaries, over.
Okay, Houston, we got nothing of your last transmission. You dropped off the air.
Okay, Ed, I'll start over. For the TLI coming up on your monitor, first of all, on the cue card, the yaw angles as shown are okay. The pitch that you see on the ball should be 9 degrees higher all the way through the burn than as shown on the cue card. Just add 9 to all your pitch angles and that should be good. On the ordeal angles that is shown on pages 2-24 and 25, increase each of those by 2.5 degrees. At 57 minutes, instead of 18, you should have 20.5 degrees. At 59 minutes, 12.5. And at 59:55, 8.5 degrees. Over.
Roger, understand that the yaw angles are okay. Pitch angles should be plus 9 degrees, and ordeal angles increased by 2.5 degrees.
Roger, that pitch is a 9-degree increment over what is shown in the card. In other words, all the angles should be 9 degrees higher than as shown on the card, the inertial angles, over.
Right, Gordon, we got that. We're with you.
Okay, 14 Houston.
Go ahead.
On your P-15, we show that you loaded the wrong seconds figure for time base 6. Will you check that?
Thank you, Gordon. Good call.
card. It's plus 2.5 degrees, is that? Right. Shows the 20.5. 20.5. This then becomes 12. This then becomes 8.
14, Houston.
Oh, yeah?
For that time to take, you're going to have to reselect P15.
Roger, I did, Gordon. We'll run through it again.
Roger.
Okay, we need to be pressing along here. Okay, press. Set Delta VC. Just a second. You want to note that
P15 is the Saturn Time Base 6 initiation program.
Okay. 99. Okay. Nice setting. 2 hours, 18, and 61 seconds.
This is Apollo Control, Houston. 1 hour, 55 minutes. We had lost the signal with Canaries. Meanwhile, the countdown clocks and mission control show an AOS time of 11 minutes with the command module. This is an Orion, or an Apollo Ranging and Instrumentation Aircraft acquisition, and we're counting down now for time of ignition, presently showing 32 minutes 40 seconds away from time of ignition. We're at 1 hour 56 minutes into the flight, continuing to monitor. This is Apollo Control, Houston.
Okay, your number, have you got it?
103 something.
103630.
Okay.
I keep being afraid, like in the simulator, to let go of my book. It's going to fall down on the...
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. If you get not paying attention to what you're doing. Wait. That's why it's mopping around. Okay, Delta VC 103630.
That's correct.
Stand by, Delta V. Okay?
Okay. That's the next thing. Now, first EMS function Delta V. GDC align.
Okay. In work, my friend.
And Stu, check your DAP if you haven't already. So 48.
Yeah, 31102.
Okay, 001.
001.
Call Verb 83.
Back there on the there.
Why, mouse. Okay, we're setting our ordeal at 100 flash at Earth.
I'll be sure that GDC is where you want the money. 1/4 of a degree. See, that's okay, GDC's aligned, Ed.
Okay, set ordeal at 100 Earth.
Okay. We want Earth power. We want 100. That's what we have.
And it says we can off the pyros here.
Is that the time correlated at all?
Yeah, it says here that we had, it's right after LOS has been orbiting at 155, and we're 4 minutes after that. I mean, Canaries.
Alrighty.
Sex Pyro 2, Sex Pyro R2, over.
All I do in the ordeal this time is set Earth power in 100 and hold that.
That's right.
There it is. Okay.
Once you flew it in, well, see, you call it Verb 83. It says it's set ordeal, so.
Pyro A, Pyro B.
Yeah, okay.
And you really want to set the ordeal up on the Verb 83.
Okay. Okay, so we'll select ball 1 to orbit. And we will hold fast and we'll flew up to 1.4. Okay, ordeal's running at 1.5. Right, slow Earth 100. Okay?
Okay. Still standing by for Pyro arm.
Pyros have been armed.
Okay, translational control power on.
Sorry.
Rotational control power normal to AC/DC verify.
Normal to AC/DC verify.
Right, control power direct to main A, main B.
Direct 1 main A, main B. Direct 2 main A, main B.
Launch vehicle indicator GPI S2 S4B verify.
Okay, GPI is an S2 S4B, and that's the pressures are real quiet down here.
Okay.
We gotta remember to watch those babies after shutdown too.
Okay, circuit breaker direct LH2 closed.
Okay, the 2 LH breakers still closed.
And then cycling the cryo fan.
Did it go into auto?
Huh?
That insertion?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Right with those off.
Set the DET at 51.
Okay, you just see how close that baby is before you. Yeah.
What do you got?
Before you look down there. 1 minute, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, stayed right in there, isn't it? 2 hours. No appreciable error. Stop. Reset. Set at 5100.
Okay. And Stu has loaded time base 6.
Yeah, I'm looking at now 20 now.
Okay. Verify you've done that.
Okay, control is coming up. Locked.
Time base 6 is at 2:18, so we have 16 minutes to stand by.
And, I'm going to pull this one up here.
Okay.
Stand by in case we have to get off.
No, God damn it, that's the way we play it.
Standing by.
Okay.
Well, the damn thing's there,
We
fella.
want to think positive.
You bet you see that.
Think positive and prepare for the worst.
Okay, tell me, what are we seeing now with the second sunrise? We should get sunrise prior to...
Sunrise is,
2:21.
well, 2:21 on the old time line.
It's going to be earlier.
Yeah, a bit earlier.
It's going to be earlier because sunset was a little early. We have three quarters of an hour, 15 degrees now.
Did we really get off at 03? Was that about what it was?
Yeah. It looked like they programmed us for 40 minutes late liftoff, and that's what we had.
Exactly 40.
Uh-huh.
Temperature in the suit is 52.
Should I be getting light flashes when our heads open?
You should when you see lightning down there. Ed and I saw some when you were copying that TLI pad.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I see the forest fire down there.
See? So we're over Africa.
Over
Right.
deepest, darkest Africa.
Say hello to all the troops from Mozambique. Hello, troops from Mozambique.
Okay. Reset.
This is Apollo Control, Houston, at 2 hours, 4 minutes now into the flight of Apollo 14. We presently show 14 in an orbit of 106.2 nautical miles by 102.4 nautical miles.
Except for the dynamics.
Our latest update on the translunar injection burn shows a time of ignition of 2 hours, 28 minutes, 30 seconds, a delta V of 10,366.5 feet per second, burn duration of 5 minutes, 52 seconds, predicted velocity at time of shutdown, 35,551.8 feet per second, an altitude at time of cutoff of 173 nautical miles. The go, no-go call-up for TLI will be made after acquisition at Carnarvon, although we will have voice communications with Apollo 14 through Araya. We will lose station acquisition in about 2 minutes into the burn and will not be able to read onboard data. However, the crew of Apollo 14 will pass a burn status report at the end of the burn, and what they will be reading will be from their diski. They will pass along velocity at time of shutdown, altitude at time of shutdown, and H-dot or altitude change at time of shutdown. The translunar injection burn will be done along the local horizontal. We're at 2 hours, 6 minutes into the flight of Apollo 14, and we'll stand by until we acquire the spacecraft. This is Apollo Control, Houston.
Shouldn't be rolling. You shouldn't be rolling.
Yeah, I'm going to go back. Make sure we haven't missed a single thing.
I got the CNN dictionary down there. All out, ready to read.
That's just to show we haven't missed anything on the checklist.
Did they get us started on the station in that elevator?
Yeah.
Let's see, we launched the sun 20 degrees, 2 and we're making,
10 degrees.
yes, 10, and we're making 4 degrees a minute. So it should change our AOS time, sunrise time for 2.5 minutes, approximately. And that should be earlier. Sunset should be earlier, and sunrise should be earlier. So what does that work out for sunrise?
2:19.
16. Okay. You know, I'm looking at a fuel pressure, oxidizer pressure, I should say, at 36, 35, and fuel at 20.
Okay, Alan, you want to check your DAC and make sure the settings are on it like you want it? We get it then. T8 at 250th.
Okay, I'll recheck it. Oh, yeah. I got a T8, and it's focused at 7 feet. I've got a 250th.
Okay. 12 frames.
12 frames a second.
Magazine A.
Magazine A.
Got an 18 millimeter lens and a right angle mirror on it.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to set up the helmet right then.
Okay, we're about 9.5 minutes on 9 base 6.
Okay. Right on 250. 8 feet. Yeah, I'm glad you called that, Ed. It shows you what you can see. I had a friend, he knocked that thing to 24 frames per second. Yeah. It's now sitting at 12. Okay. Let's just for the hell of it, take some pictures of that top of that booster anyway, huh? Yeah, I'm going to try to. You mean with the Hasselblad or what?
Yeah,
with the Hasselblad. We're supposed to do it only, describe it if it looks anomalous to us, but I think we have this way back.
Yeah, I think I'll take a couple as we come up, and then when we roll and it comes from the hatch window, I think you ought to take a couple out of the hatch window.
Okay. You got a ring sight on that camera? No, not right now. Wouldn't hurt if we did, but we don't.
Yeah, I got myself all strapped in now.
Okay, ASA 64. Okay, time base 50 to start, then we'll have sunrise. And then we'll do all those good things.
Then we'll get AOS at Carnarvon. We'll get a go for TLI. And we'll burn it.
Beautiful.
Sunrise.
That's fantastic.
Sunrise. There's no doubt in your mind of liftoff. I was a little surprised at the level of the vibration prior to liftoff, so I've been led to believe it's quite a bit worse than that. Maybe they're strapping us in tighter nowadays.
I didn't have any trouble with communication or anything.
Oh, it's beautiful all the way. Before that DPC goes down at tower, when it moves out. I didn't even notice the switches being hard. I didn't trigger I would. I didn't figure I would. Like that. Man, that's beautiful. Collar checks right on the line. Slater right like the sim. I mean, like the sim over there.
I guess in order to make sure we don't screw that up, I guess I better pull that dark slide out right now. Right there.
I'm supposed to work with it in.
No, but I don't want to be ready to take a picture and miss a picture because of it. You want any water?
Yeah, I'll take a bottle of water.
That's a good place to leave that there. You don't have to put it back in all the time. Tell us before time base 6. Well, about 5 minutes. I get kind of hungry. If I don't have to watch my weight, I'm going to really slurp it up at the table tonight.
Yeah, right up in there.
Yeah, we can see it back at the field.
Pretty tasty water.
And there goes the monitor. Off onto the trip.
I'd say this lake is really great.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
0G. Fantastic.
Oh, two stars up there.
I don't feel any more stuffy than I did this morning.
I'm kind of surprised at that too. Like Al Bean made the comment that everybody's face looks puffed up.
Yeah.
The face doesn't look puffed up to me.
I'm sure there is some adjustment.
Yeah.
Probably the rest of the, the old rest of the cardiovascular relaxers. Yeah, it should.
I just feel great, but
Well, hell, after a goddamn launch like that, he couldn't feel great.
Oh, I got a little stuffiness in my head.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like you're maybe when you're pulling a 1.5 or 2 Gs with a cold.
Yeah.
It sort of feels something like that.
This is Apollo Control, Houston. 2 hours, 16 minutes now into the flight of Apollo 14. We'll stand by for any communications with the Araya aircraft. We're 12 minutes, 25 seconds away from time of ignition.
you'd have to feel it laid on my back.
I sort of feel like I'm laying head down somewhere. Maybe that's because of the
Stuffiness?
stuffiness in my head.
Feet slightly elevated. Like resting on the sit-up board, high angle.
Yeah.
Apollo Houston, this is Apollo 14. This is Houston through Araya 4. How do you read?
Apollo 14, louder and clear. How many?
You're readable. A little bit of background noise, but loud and readable.
Roger, Houston.
That was Ed Mitchell responding aboard the spacecraft.
Hey, Houston 14, how do you read now?
Apollo 14, Houston, you're readable. Stu, go ahead.
Okay, I was just checking the comm here. Gee, you're just beautiful. The Araya's really putting out for us.
This is the best effort for Araya.
20 seconds. You can't really take it that big.
2 minutes, 18 seconds. That was Stu Russo coming in with a comment.
You verifying?
See if the guidance is naive. Never has moved.
Okay.
Well, we were ready
Standing
for
by for the uplink activity light.
65 seconds. I want you to mark when that sun comes over the horizon.
All right. Do you want to not look at it?
Well, it's right on my window.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Start at time base 6.
Okay.
We're 10 minutes away now from time of ignition.
Okay.
Getting uplink activity light. And that's 2 steps out of it.
Hey, we have an 2-step light.
About a second late.
Yeah, it looks like it was real late. When that light goes out, I'm going to drop my timer.
Okay. Step out of the sun.
Yeah, 5 seconds down. Okay.
9 minutes away now.
Okay, the light's out, pilot started.
And counting. Watch the sunrise in your eyes now.
Okay, tank pressure is 35 and 20. Good.
Okay, verify spacecraft control SDS
Okay, it's SDS.
and monitor your tank pressures.
Is the sun on time?
The sun,
Pretty damn close.
it's just a little early.
No,
It
it
was
was
early.
not by our time.
Okay,
Our 1960.
right. Okay. Master level too slow high. Do you have a direct to a 2 now?
Cabin is good.
It's holding up, it's not the cabin. It must have triggered high. Well, it's held us down below the control mark, so it can't be.
What?
It's just transient, has to be.
Yeah. 0.9. Turn your suit regulator over there. Just turn it. It's on both. Turn it up to 1. Okay, it's on 1? Yep. Okay, turn it on 2.
Apollo 14, Houston, over. We missed, if you did call, time base 6 starting, and we'd like to know how the tank pressure is going.
Okay, looks to us like time base started within 1 second of nominal time, and the outside the tank is currently quietly at 3.7, and the tank is currently sitting quietly at 2.6.
Roger.
Both of them?
Block.
Okay.
That was Al Shepard responding to that call. We're at 2 hours 22 minutes now. 6 minutes 25 seconds away from time of ignition.
Orbital FDAI-1 Orbital 2 inertial.
Okay, 1 is Orbital, 2 is inertial.
And we're standing by to slew to 20.5 at 57.
54. 55. 8 degrees, 28 and a half at 55.
Yeah, you know, we did that in a sim, got bound up on that too.
Is it really?
It's a tape recorder, Barber Pole. Okay, I guess they're not getting data. No, we're still through the Orion. I guess we haven't got it.
No, we've lost the LOS on the red.
And I bet what happens is if the suit accumulator cycles, it might kick that over to IO2.
Okay, I think I've got my full brake ball set up. We'll recheck it again in a minute. Tank prices are reading 40. We're out of comm with them now, are we?
Yes.
We should have them again here in about 2 minutes.
Tank pressures are good. Oxidizer 39. Fuel coming up to 30.
Apollo 14, Houston, over.
56 minutes, we should have 24 little. That sun in your eyes?
Huh?
4 minutes away now from time of ignition.
14 Houston, how do you read?
Did you notice that VHF volume being full up distorted the
Yeah.
VHF? Couldn't understand why he sounds so garbled.
He's the only one.
Okay, coming up on 57, it should be 20.5.
That's fine.
That's right. 57 and 22. And 21. See what
We are now receiving Caernarvon data, and very shortly Flight Director Pete Frank will poll his flight control team as to our status for TLI.
Okay, we are 57 minutes, and we're 20.5.
Okay, ordeal mode hold fast.
It is hold fast.
And call P47.
Okay.
Okay, Houston 14, how do you read? Roger 14, this is Houston, through Caernarvon, and you're loud and clear.
Set as it was.
Oh, you're 5 square.
The 2 passes prior to the TDI rev. The procedure
2 minutes, 2 hours, 26 minutes. Pete Frank now taking a status check with his flight control team.
You really weren't in.
Coming up all greens.
Apollo 14, Houston.
Or bit, as was being set inadvertently.
Here, go for the moon,
mission
go
took
for
place,
TLI.
And the crew then throttled up manually.
Roger, go for
in
TLI.
26 seconds, which the LGC would normally, the computer would normally do.
That was Al
under its
Shepard
own guidance.
responding to that go for TLI. We're at 2 hours, 27 minutes now into the flight, 1 minute, 32 seconds from time of ignition.
Yes, to set flight.
It's on, right on the money.
5836.
Okay, should be starting knowledge now.
Feel it or we'd be floating down.
That starts at 58.
Don't see any counts.
Wasn't that a 2 a minute ago?
Yeah. It probably is going to be at a 1. Now it's a 0.
It's counting? There's no
Yep,
right.
it's counting. Just don't feel it.
Okay, at 59 minutes out, you should have 12.5. And after 59?
Less than 30 seconds away now from time of ignition. Our displays show a predicted apogee resulting from this burn of 250,263.7 nautical miles. We're at 2 hours, 28 minutes now into the flight. Standing by.
Just you step light out on time.
58 minus 18.
Okay, it's on the money, 8.5. Operate slow.
There she goes.
We have ignition.
I can answer that.
Roger, ignition.
Nice start.
Smooth start, steering's good.
Roger, and we show good thrust on the S4B.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
That's Al Shepard, spacecraft commander, giving that report.
It's all right. It knows what it's doing.
28, 29, 30. Okay, 30 should have been 129. And it's very close.
Yeah, Michael Weiss gave us the right numbers. We're right on 0.
1 minute, it should be at 120, 128.
Slight vibration. Otherwise, very
Booster says we look good. 1 minute, 3 seconds at the burn.
That's low in altitude.
Flight Dynamics is pleased with the agreement between his data. We show velocity buildup on one of our displays, presently reading 27,390 feet per second.
How much is it?
If it got my stomach, realizing I was hungry.
Oh, too slow, high.
Ignore it.
Ignore it.
Okay, tank pressures are still good.
Coming up now in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 126.
Houston, tank pressures are steady at 40 and 30.
Al Shepard again from aboard the spacecraft.
There's been a PU valve shift. Yep. Man, that's like cutting into AB.
Yep. That's 7/10 of a G now.
Yeah, it sure is. Drop this.
Thrust data looks good.
A little low on that card. But the angles are good. Maybe this other data isn't too striking.
Still receiving data showing the velocity of 29,212 feet per second.
No, that's just to go back to now.
I guess it's you're gonna go. Okay, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I've got a 62 over an 82.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 3 minutes.
3 minutes, 10 seconds now into the burn.
It's coming up. Okay.
It does change vibration modes with the mass, doesn't it?
Okay, there's 330, 117 or 114, 1150, 30. Still a little, running a little low. Come on, baby.
Okay, coming about 4 minutes.
Good thing.
Coming up now in 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
The picture about 1 degree, right?
We've had LOS with Carnarvon. Our
troops.
Feels kind of heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah, man.
network reports we're receiving IU data through Guam. Looks good.
4 minutes. The bird.
Apollo 14 tracking right down the middle of our plot boards in mission control.
About each time.
But she's pretty steady.
Okay. It's back to about 0 when we go off.
Yeah, let me anchor here.
Okay.
Okay, 5 minutes. These stops are a tad low. Altitude's a little low, and the velocity is just about...
5 minutes, 10 seconds.
Okay, we're looking for 35.
Houston through Orion 2, over.
Go ahead, Houston. That bird's going well. Okay, I have about...
Okay, let us talk about what we're going to do.
Okay.
35, 559.
We're going to see that on the disky, and then we're going to shut down.
Got 30, 25.
Booster says 20 seconds to go.
Y'all are in here too.
There's 35, 100, 200, 275, 350, 450.
Close the cutoff.
Okay.
Roger, 14, cutoff.
That was Al Shepard reporting shutdown. It looks like...
Now the oxides are coming down through 35 now. The fuel is coming down through 30.
Okay, LSCS TBC. Turbo power number 1 off.
It's off.
Bit rate low. EMS mode standby.
And rate low.
I'm in rate low.
Rate low, okay.
No. Bit rate low.
Oh, bit rate low. Okay. That's you.
Yeah, I can. EMS mode.
Apollo Control, Houston, that shutdown time appeared to be right on time.
14, Houston, go ahead.
Carrying the VI plus 35542.
Delta VC minus 8.8.
Plus 04399.
Pad plus 017.
Hey, Delta V, bro.
Let's try again. As the EMS mode standby, EMS functional.
14, this is Houston. We copy VI plus 35542. Delta VC of minus 8.8. And list the last two, George.
Okay, H-dot plus 04399. Altitude plus 01747.
Roger, plus 04399 and a plus 01747.
Okay, I'm sure I got your H-dot feedback plus 04399.
Roger. 04399.
With that report, Flight Dynamics Officer Dave Reed says it looks like a good burn. We're at 2 hours 37 minutes now into the flight. We'll stand by and continue to monitor.
27 feet per second, it looks like. 19 bars of BMG is nothing to do with 7 feet per second. Yeah. Okay, and let's see, H-dot 4399, you said that's it. That was low. See, we were low all the way. That may have been designed stuff. Okay, yeah.
Okay, DMC activity line out key 66 interstate.
I did that. And then we got the top one.
Alright, you can switch couches.
Get out of my couch.
Did you get your number 1 to inertial now?
Yep, I did.
Okay.
Houston on the airport, the oxidizer pressure is now down around 1.8, and fuel pressure is about 1.7.
Roger, understand 1.8 and 1.7 on the tank pressures.
Okay, I guess you heard it. When are you going to break the connection? On. Let's break it up.
Look at us climb away.
Okay, sit power. See, let me get this waste storage vent before I...
Yeah, waste storage vent valve closed.
Turning off.
Apollo 14, Houston through Guam, over.
Go ahead, Houston, again.
You're loud and clear, Ed, and we should have continuous voice and data from here on out. You're loud and clear through Guam.
Okay, Gordon, we have good signal strength for you now. And I might say the Earth is starting to drop away very rapidly at this point.
Roger.
And Stu and Al have started to change seats. We're going into our booster, into pre-sub checklist.